They paid me $50,000 to marry a stranger. I said yes without asking questions, without knowing his name. And by the time I recognized his face, I'd already said I do. My name is Hannah Nichols. And this is the story of how I became someone else's wife for all the wrong reasons. It started 3 weeks ago on a cold Tuesday morning in Virgin River. I was cleaning tables at the Riverside Cafe when she walked in, Charmaine Roberts. Everyone in town knew who she was. Rich, beautiful, perfect, the kind of woman who wore designer clothes to buy groceries. She sat down at my table and ordered nothing. Just stared at me with strange, desperate eyes. "You look exactly like me," she whispered. I didn't know what to say. I just stood there holding my coffee pot like a shield, same height, same build. Even our hair. She reached out and touched a strand of my brown hair. "You could be my sister." I pulled back. "Can I get you something, ma'am?" "Yes." Her voice dropped lower. "I need you to pretend to be me." My heart skipped. "Excuse me?" She opened her purse. Inside I saw more cash than I'd ever seen in my life. Stacks of $100 bills wrapped tight. $50,000, she said. "That's what I'll pay you." I nearly dropped the coffee pot. "All you have to do is attend one ceremony. One night, wear a dress, say some words. And then walk away." "What ceremony?" My voice shook. She leaned closer. "My wedding." The words hung in the air like smoke, heavy, choking. "You want me to marry someone while pretending to be you?" "It's not a real marriage," she said quickly. "Not really, just a ceremony, a show for his family. Then you disappear, I take over, and nobody knows the difference. That's insane. That's $50,000. She pushed the purse closer. "Think about what you could do with that money. A fresh start, a new life. Isn't that what you want?" How did she know what I wanted? I should have said no right there. Should have walked away, but $50,000. That money could save me, could give me a fresh start. Could help me finally leave this town where every street corner reminded me of what I'd lost. 2 years ago, my father owned Nichols Construction, the only building company in Virgin River. We weren't rich, but we were happy, safe, secure. Then a man came to town, a businessman with big plans and bigger promises. He wanted to partner with my father. Expand the business, take us to the next level. My father trusted him. He signed papers he didn't fully understand. Made deals that seemed too good to be true, and they were. Within 6 months, we lost everything. The business. Our house, my father's pride. The stress broke him. His heart gave out one night while he slept. Just stopped beating. My mother followed him 2 months later. The doctor said it was pneumonia. But I knew the truth. She died of a broken heart. And the man who destroyed us, he walked away untouched. Richer, more powerful than ever. I never even saw his face. Just heard his name whispered around town like a curse. Jack Sheridan. The name haunted me, followed me through sleepless nights and empty days. So when Charmaine Roberts offered me $50,000, I saw a chance, a way out. A way to finally breathe again. Why? I asked her, "Why do you need someone to pretend to be you?" "Because I'm pregnant," she said flatly. Not his. She'd been having an affair. The wedding had to happen this weekend or the truth would come out. Her plan. A private ceremony at a remote lodge. Dim lighting, a veil. I say the words, sign the papers as her, slip out the back. She appears later, simple. "Who's the groom?" I asked. She checked her phone without looking up. Jack Sheridan, very successful, very boring. The name hit me like ice. Jack Sheridan. The man who'd ruined my family. Charmin slid a card across the table. "Decide by noon tomorrow. Come alone. Tell no one." I stared at the card, trembling. Dangerous, wrong. And maybe the only chance I'd ever get to stand in his world. By morning, I'd already made up my mind. I met Charmaine at an expensive hotel suite downtown. She had the wedding dress waiting, shoes, jewelry, everything I need to become her. "You're sure about this?" she asked. "Yes." "Good." She handed me an envelope. "Half now, half after it's done." I opened it. $25,000 in cash. I took it the next day. I stood in a small room at Riverstone Lodge wearing Charmaine's wedding dress. It fit perfectly, like it was made for me. Through the window I could see the sun setting over the mountains, orange and purple streaks across the sky. Beautiful and terrible at the same time, my last sunset as Hannah Nichols. The doors opened, music played. I took a deep breath and stepped into the candlelit room. And I saw him. The groom stood at the altar. His back to me. Tall, broad shoulders. Dark suit, Jack Sheridan, the man who haunted my nightmares. My heart pounded as I walked down the aisle, each step heavier than the last. The room was small, maybe 15 guests. Their faces blurry, unimportant. All I could see was him. I reached the altar. The groom turned around, and the world stopped. That face, I'd seen it in old newspapers. In lawsuit files, in nightmares, Jack Sheridan. The man who destroyed my family. He looked at me through the veil, calm and unreadable. "You look beautiful," he said. The words felt like poison. "Do you, Charmaine Roberts, take this man?" I should have said no, should have ripped off the veil and screamed the truth. But $25,000 and revenge kept my mouth moving. "I do." The officiant turned to him. Jack paused, eyes searching mine as if he already knew, then said, "I do. You may kiss the bride." "No," I whispered. Grabbing his wrist, he frowned. "What?" "Please, not now." After a beat, he nodded. "All right. Later, when I'd be gone, we signed the papers in a small side office. Just one signature left and I could disappear. "You seem nervous," he said. "I'm fine," I lied. He smiled. Warm, human. I hated that it almost eased me. Jack signed first, then handed me the pen. My hand shook as I began to write Wait. His eyes fixed on the small burn scar on my thumb. "Where'd you get that?" "An accident, when I was little. Charmaine doesn't have a scar there." My blood froze. He caught my wrist, lifted the veil, and the world shattered. "Who are you?" he demanded. "I'm nobody." Liar. His gaze sharpened. Recognition dawning. "You're Hannah Nichols." Robert Nichols' daughter. Hearing my father's name from his mouth lit fire in my chest. "Don't you dare say his name." He stepped back, pale. "What is this?" "Where's Charmaine?" "Far away from you. She paid you," he realized, laughing bitterly. "She actually paid someone to marry me." "I'm leaving," I said, turning for the door. "No." His tone stopped me cold. "You signed those papers," he said, "in the eyes of the law. You're my wife." "That's insane. It was fraud." "Was it?" He moved closer, voice low and hard. "You said I do. You signed?" "There were witnesses, legally, Mrs. Sheridan. This marriage is real." The name made me sick. "We'll get it annulled," I snapped. "Tell them the truth." "And tell them what?" He shot back. "That you impersonated someone at a legal ceremony? You'd go to prison." Silence. He was right. I'd trapped myself. What had I done? "Charmaine will explain," I said desperately. "She'd tell them this was her idea." Jack crossed his arms. "Will she? Or will she throw you under the bus to save herself?" "She's lied before. What makes you think she'd stop now?" I had no answer. "What do you want from me?" I asked quietly. Jack turned toward the window. His voice lower, heavier. "My family arranged this marriage for business. If they find out Charmaine backed out, if they learn it was all a fraud, everything I've built collapses." "Good," I spat. "You deserve to lose everything." Like my father did. His jaw tightened. "So, this is revenge?" "I didn't know it was you," I snapped. "Not until I was already at the altar. But now you do, so what's your plan, Hannah?" "Expose me? Ruin me?" I wanted to say yes, to burn his world down. But if this went public, I'd lose everything too, the money. Maybe even my freedom. "I just want out," I said. "I want to leave and never see you again." "Can't do that," he said softly. Why not? He moved closer, eyes sharp but tired. Because like it or not, we're married. And I need a wife. You're insane. I'm practical, he said. Stay for 6 months. Pretend this marriage is real until my family's deals are done, then we divorce. You walk away with $200,000. I laughed bitterly. You think I could live with the man who killed my father? I didn't kill him. You destroyed him. I shouted. Your greed, your lies. You broke him. Jack flinched, the mask slipping. I know about Nichols Construction. I know you blame me. Because it was your fault. It was business, he said quietly. It was my life. My parents' lives. He looked stricken. I know, he whispered. And I can't undo it. But maybe I can make something right. He went to a cabinet and handed me a folder. Legal papers. Financial records, my father's company name stamped across every page. I followed what happened, he said. I read the obituaries. I kept track of you. I couldn't forget. So, this is guilt? I hissed. Yes, he admitted, and it's not enough, but I can at least help you start over. $200,000. Enough to escape everything. Enough to finally breathe. Why me? I asked. Because you're already my wife, he said simply. And because I owe you this. It wasn't an apology, but it was something. I stared at his outstretched hand, the hand that ruined my family. The hand that had just signed my name beside his. 6 months, I said at last. Then I'm gone. Jack nodded. 6 months. I took his hand, and in that single trembling shake, I sealed my fate all over again. We left separately. A car took me to Jack's house, a glass and wood mansion tucked high in the Virgin River Mountains. Quiet, cold, breathtaking, and built from the ruins of my father's company. Marcus, the driver, led me upstairs. Mr. Sheridan will be home late, he said, leaving me in a room bigger than my entire apartment. A note lay on the pillow. Make yourself at home, Jay. I sat on the bed and finally cried. I'd married the man who destroyed my family. Agreed to live with him. Pretend to love him, all for money. My father would never forgive me. The first week was agony. Jack introduced me to his friends. Preacher, gentle and kind. Mel Monroe, sharp-eyed and too observant. Doc Mullins, gruff but curious. Everyone believed I was Charmaine Roberts. I smiled, played my part, and hated every second. You seem different, Mel said over coffee one day. Different how? I asked. Jack always said you were bubbly, but you seem quieter. Marriage changes people. I lied. Hope McCrae cornered me in the grocery store. No engagement party? No shower. Why so secret? We wanted something intimate, I said. Intimate, she repeated, eyes narrowing. Every conversation felt like walking through a minefield. One wrong word, and everything could explode. At night, I lay awake in that enormous bed. Counting the days, 6 months, 180 days of lies. Then something shifted. One afternoon, I found Jack in his office. Staring at an old photo, a boy with his parents. Smiling. They look happy, I said. He flinched, setting the picture down. They were once? What happened? My father made bad choices, lost everything, started drinking. One night he borrowed from the wrong people. They killed him, said it was an accident. My mother never recovered. I'm sorry, I whispered. And I meant it. Jack looked at me. That's why I became ruthless, he said. I didn't want to end up like him, weak, broken. So instead you became the man who breaks others, I said quietly. He winced. Yes. Silence filled the space. Heavy but honest. That doesn't make it right, I said. What you did to my father? I know. But I understand why you did it. That doesn't mean I forgive you, but I understand. Something softened in his eyes. Thank you. It wasn't forgiveness, just a crack in the wall between hate and something dangerously close to empathy. At dawn, Jack knocked on my door. Hannah, come with me. It's 5 a.m. I know. Please trust me. Against all reason, I did. We drove through the dark until he stopped at a mountain clearing. Below us, Virgin River shimmered in the first light, gold mist rising from the water. The world slowly waking. I come here when I need to think, Jack said. When the guilt gets too heavy, we stood in silence as the sun climbed. My father brought me here once, he murmured. Said no matter how bad things get, the sun always rises. Did you believe him? Not then, but now, I think it's hope. A reminder we can try again. I looked at him, light touching his face. Thank you, I whispered. He smiled faintly. Thank you for coming. For once, the silence between us didn't hurt. That night, Jack knocked on my door again, 2 glasses of wine in his hands. Thought you might need this, he said. I let him in. You haven't made yourself at home, he observed. This isn't my home, I replied. What do you want, Jack? He sat by the window. I want to tell you something I've never told anyone. Because you might understand. He told me about the day my father signed the contracts. How he knew the terms were bad. How he'd almost torn them up but didn't. How he watched my father fall apart and did nothing. Why tell me this now? I asked. Because you deserve the truth, he said. I destroyed your father, not by accident, but by choice. I hate you, I whispered. I know, he said, not defending, just accepting. And somehow that honesty hurt more than his lies. You're the only one who's been honest in 2 years, I said. Everyone else wrapped it in gentle words, but you told me the truth. Even though it makes you a monster. Because I am one, he said. But maybe being honest is a start. He knelt in front of me. I can't fix what I broke, but maybe I can help you build something new. Something they'd be proud of. I don't forgive you, I said. I don't deserve forgiveness, he whispered. But maybe we can move forward. He paused at the door. That sunrise you asked about, I really go every week. Would you like to come? I'd like that, I said. He smiled and left. I sat alone. The walls between us cracking, not from forgiveness, but from truth finally being told. On Saturday, Jack drove me to the edge of town. A raw stretch of land lay before us. I bought this 2 months ago, he said. Spreading blueprints on a desk, it was meant for luxury homes. But I don't want that anymore. He looked at me. I'm giving it to you, the land, the permits, everything. We'll rebuild Nichols Construction, real homes for real families. You'll be in charge. It won't fix what I did, he said softly. But maybe it'll honor what your father built. I saw it. Families moving in. Laughter where there'd once been loss. Yes, I whispered. Jack smiled, lighter, younger. We shook hands. And for the first time since everything fell apart, I didn't feel hate. I felt hope. 2 days later, Charmaine Roberts showed up at our door, furious, screaming, and very, very pregnant. Where is he? She shrieked, barging past me. Where's Jack? Jack ran down the stairs, shock written all over his face. Charmaine? What are you? You married her. She yelled, pointing at me. You were supposed to marry her, then divorce her quietly. That was the plan we agreed. My blood turned to ice. You knew? I whispered. You both knew? Jack's face went pale. Hannah, I can explain. You set me up. I screamed, rage exploding inside me. This whole thing was planned. No, he said quickly. Not from the beginning. I didn't know until you lifted your veil, but afterward we talked. It was safer to keep pretending. Safer for who? You? Her? Certainly not me. I was trying to protect you. By lying to me again? How many times do I have to be your victim? Charmaine's laugh was sharp and bitter. Please, you got 200 grand out of this. Don't act like some saint. I am a victim. You're a gold digger. She spat. At least I was smart enough to have a backup plan. Her hand slid to her stomach. You think that baby saves you? I shouted. That baby is why you dragged me into this. That baby. she hissed, is my insurance policy. Something inside me snapped. I lunged at her. But Jack caught me, holding me as I screamed. Let me go! Hannah, stop! I hate you. Both of you. You're liars, manipulators. My parents are dead because of you. You got paid, Charmaine said coldly. I sold my soul, I whispered. And the room fell silent. Then softer, she said. Please don't tell anyone, if this comes out. We all go down. Good, I said. Let it all burn. I grabbed my keys and ran. I didn't stop until I reached the cemetery. My parents' graves beneath the old oak tree. I fell to my knees, pressing my hands to the cold stone. I'm sorry, I sobbed. I became everything you warned me not to be. I married him for money, for revenge, and now I don't even know who I am. The woman I fell in love with, a voice said behind me. I turned. Jack stood there, eyes hollow. I'm sorry, he said. For everything, for the deal, the lies. All of it. Sorry doesn't fix anything. I know. He knelt beside me. But maybe we can fix each other. I laughed through tears. We're too broken. Broken things can still be mended, he said softly. Sometimes they're stronger after. I should hate you, I whispered. I know, but I don't. He reached for my hand. You're human, Hannah. You're allowed to feel everything at once. I cried until there were no tears left. When silence settled, I asked, what do we do now? Jack met my eyes. We tell the truth, all of it. It'll destroy you. I don't care, he said quietly. It's time to make things right. Jack drove us to the county records office in the next town. He asked for documents, contracts, deeds, transfers, all tied to Nichols Construction. What are you doing? I whispered. He signed page after page. Hands steady, eyes clear, then handed me the folder. I'm giving it back, he said. Everything I took from your father, the company, the properties, the money, it's yours now. I stared at him. This is worth millions. It should have been yours from the start, he said. I built my empire on theft and manipulation. It's time I make it right. Why now? I asked, tears blurring my vision. He touched my face gently. Because somewhere along the way, you stopped being my punishment, you became my hope. And I can't destroy hope anymore. I kissed him, without thinking. Just pure feeling. He kissed me back, soft and desperate. When we pulled apart, I whispered, I'm still angry. I know, I don't forgive you. I don't deserve it. But maybe we can still move forward. Together. Together, he said, resting his forehead against mine. The scandal broke just like he predicted. Jack stood before cameras and told the world everything. The switched wedding, Charmaine's pregnancy, the lies. And the truth about what he'd done to my family. Headlines exploded, investors fled. His empire collapsed. But Jack didn't run, he faced it. And I stood beside him. People called me naive. Maybe they were right, but love is messy. Forgiveness doesn't erase scars. It teaches you to live with them. The district attorney dropped charges, calling me a victim of manipulation. Charmaine disappeared to Europe, chasing another rich man. Jack sold what was left of his empire and used the money to rebuild Nichols Construction. Not as business, but redemption. We hired locals, paid fair wages. Built homes for families who truly lived in Virgin River sometimes. When the sun sets over the river and sawdust drifts through the air, I catch him looking at me with that quiet, hopeful look from the night everything fell apart. And for the first time in years, I don't feel broken, just human. On a sunny afternoon in October, 1 year after the fake wedding, Jack and I stood in the town square. Half of Virgin River gathered to watch. You sure about this? Doc asked. Last time didn't go so well. Absolutely not, Jack said, making everyone laugh. He's joking, I said. We're sure. As sure as two broken people can be, Jack added, taking my hands. Which is to say, terrified but doing it anyway. More laughter. Doc smiled. That's the most honest answer I've ever heard at a wedding, alright then. Let's do this properly this time. The ceremony was nothing like the first. No lies. No veils, no pretending, just truth, raw and real. Jack pulled me close. I love you. Hannah Nichols Sheridan. He whispered. I love you too, Jack. Even though you're a reformed scoundrel. Reformed is generous. I'm feeling generous. He kissed me as Virgin River cheered. People called out congratulations. Kids ran alongside us. Dogs barked. Life, messy and beautiful and real. He carried me over the threshold of our house. And I laughed because it was ridiculous and perfect and exactly what we both needed. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you leads to the best thing. Sometimes the person you hate becomes the person you can't live without. Sometimes broken things do get repaired. And the cracks fill with something stronger than what was there before. My name is Hannah Nichols Sheridan. And this is the story of how I married my enemy and found my home.